My sister Vanessa had spent years believing that status was everything. She judged people by their clothes, their jobs, their cars, and most of all, by the people they could impress. So when she replaced her former fiancé Liam with Captain Bradley Hayes, she thought she had finally found the man who could give her the prestigious life she always wanted. She had no idea that the quiet woman she constantly looked down on was actually the person powerful military leaders answered to. My name is Elena Vance, and I learned a long time ago that real power rarely announces itself. My older sister Vanessa never understood that. To her, life was a competition, and every person around her was either useful or embarrassing. For 3 years, she had been engaged to Liam, a Navy specialist who was intelligent, hardworking, and incredibly humble. But when Liam left active duty to pursue specialized defense contracting, Vanessa decided he had become worthless. She told our entire family that Liam was a washed-up veteran with no ambition. She complained that he drove an ordinary truck, wore simple clothes, and didn't have the kind of career she could brag about at parties. Then she met Captain Bradley Hayes. Bradley was everything Vanessa thought success looked like. He wore a decorated uniform, talked constantly about his rank, and made sure everyone knew which senior officers he claimed to know. Within 4 months, Vanessa had ended her relationship with Liam and announced her engagement to Bradley. She didn't even seem ashamed. In fact, she acted as if she had made the smartest decision of her life. At family dinners, she constantly reminded me that some people were meant to stay ordinary while others were destined for important circles. I usually said nothing because I knew something Vanessa didn't. My work wasn't ordinary corporate consulting. I specialized in operational logistics and defense infrastructure, including strategic oversight connected to major naval procurement programs. My position required discretion, which meant I couldn't walk around telling everyone what I did. Vanessa interpreted my silence as weakness. She had no idea that the less I said, the more important the information I was protecting became. 2 weeks before Vanessa's wedding plans were supposed to become official, our parents hosted a dinner to celebrate her engagement. Bradley arrived wearing his uniform like it was a crown. Within minutes, he had taken over the conversation. He talked about tactical operations, promotions, senior commanders, and the people he claimed were impressed by him. Then his attention turned toward me. "So, Elena," he said with a smug smile, "Vanessa tells me you do some kind of office consulting." I looked up from my plate. "Something like that." He laughed. "Spreadsheets and paperwork." "Operational logistics," I answered calmly. Bradley leaned back in his chair. "That's the civilian side of things. You people analyze numbers while people like us make the real decisions." Vanessa smiled proudly beside him. I didn't argue. I didn't correct him. I simply continued eating. He had no idea that some of the decisions he was bragging about were supported by reports that passed through my office before they ever reached senior command. Vanessa eventually invited me to the annual Naval Officers Ball, but even that invitation came with an insult. "You should come," she said. "It might be good for you to see what real success looks like." I accepted. On the night of the ball, I arrived alone in a simple midnight blue evening gown. I wasn't wearing expensive jewelry, and I wasn't trying to attract attention. I simply walked into the ballroom, checked my coat, and waited near the reception area. Within minutes, Vanessa saw me. She was wearing an elaborate emerald dress and standing proudly beside Bradley. Her eyes moved from my dress to my empty hand. "No date?" she asked loudly. Several people nearby turned toward us. I smiled politely. "No." Vanessa laughed. "I suppose some people just aren't meant for these kinds of events." Bradley stepped closer. "Actually," he said, "the VIP reception is restricted. Active command staff and designated dignitaries only." He pointed toward another area. "You can stay over there with the standard guests." I looked at him. "Thank you for the advice, Captain." He smiled as though he had one. "Know your place, Elena." I glanced at my watch. 7:58 p.m. I said nothing. 2 minutes later, the doors at the far end of the ballroom opened. The room changed instantly. Conversation stopped, Officers straightened. Guests turned toward the entrance. Admiral Richard Sterling, the 4-star fleet commander and keynote dignitary, entered with a group of senior military officials. Bradley's entire expression changed. "This is my moment," he whispered to Vanessa. He immediately stepped forward. "Good evening, Admiral." Bradley raised his hand into a sharp salute. But Admiral Sterling didn't stop. He walked straight past Bradley. Bradley's smile disappeared. The Admiral continued across the ballroom. Then he stopped directly in front of me. The room became completely silent. Admiral Sterling snapped to attention and raised his hand in a formal salute. "Good evening, Director Vance." Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. I calmly returned his greeting. "At ease, Admiral. It's good to see you again." The Admiral lowered his hand and smiled. "I wanted to personally thank you for your work on the 5th Fleet Modernization Review. Your restructuring of the logistics contracts prevented months of delays." Bradley's face went completely pale. Vanessa looked like she had forgotten how to breathe. The woman they had just called an insignificant civilian was being personally greeted by a 4-star admiral. And it wasn't a courtesy visit. It was professional respect. The Admiral gestured toward the senior delegation behind him. "The Undersecretary is waiting for you at the head table. There are several procurement documents that require your authorization before tomorrow's briefing." I nodded. "Lead the way." Then I walked past Vanessa and Bradley. Neither of them said a word. For the first time in years, Vanessa had nothing to say. During the intermission, I stepped into the foyer to get some air. I expected the evening to end quietly. Instead, I heard hurried footsteps behind me. Director Vance. I turned. Bradley stood several feet away. The arrogance was gone. "Can we talk?" I waited. "I had no idea who you were," he said nervously. "If I had known your position, I never would have spoken to you like that." I looked at him. "That's exactly the problem." He frowned. "You respected me only after you learned my title." He didn't answer. I continued. "You didn't respect me when you thought I was a civilian. You didn't respect me when you thought I had an ordinary job. You didn't respect me because you were judging my value by what you could see." Vanessa stepped forward. "Elena, please, we were just joking." I looked at her. "No, you weren't." She lowered her eyes. "You've spent years making people feel small because you believed their success made yours look bigger." Her expression changed. Then I said something she never expected. "Remember Liam?" Vanessa froze. "What about him?" "You called him a washed-up veteran." She didn't respond. "He now runs a private defense contracting firm that recently won a major sector bid." Vanessa's face tightened. "He reports directly to my office." She stared at me. "And his company is doing extremely well." For several seconds, nobody spoke. Then Vanessa whispered, "You knew." I knew exactly what Liam was capable of. She looked away. "But you didn't." The consequences came quickly. Bradley's behavior at the gala was not simply embarrassing. His conduct had been witnessed by senior officers and civilian officials. His attitude toward civilians and his misuse of authority became part of a formal leadership review. Within weeks, his promotion track was placed under scrutiny. His behavior wasn't the only issue investigators found. Several complaints about his arrogance, inappropriate conduct, and treatment of junior personnel suddenly carried more weight now that senior leadership was paying attention. His dream of climbing rapidly through command disappeared. Vanessa's social world collapsed with it. The people she had spent years trying to impress began avoiding her. Her engagement to Bradley eventually ended. And then she did something I expected. She contacted Liam. First came a text, then another, then phone calls. She apologized for leaving him. She told him she had made a mistake. She said she finally understood what mattered. Liam never answered. He had already moved on. A few weeks later, I met him for dinner. There was nothing glamorous about the restaurant. No uniforms, no expensive cars, no cameras, no people trying to impress anyone. Liam arrived wearing jeans and a simple jacket. We talked about work, future projects, and life. At one point, he smiled and said, "You know, Vanessa always thought I wasn't ambitious." I laughed softly. She was wrong. He nodded. People confuse being loud with being powerful. That sentence stayed with me, because Vanessa had spent years chasing appearances. Bradley had spent years chasing rank. But neither of them understood the difference between looking powerful and actually being valuable. Real strength doesn't need to announce itself. Real confidence doesn't require an audience. And real success doesn't depend on making someone else feel inferior. That night at the gala, I could have embarrassed Vanessa. I could have exposed Bradley publicly. I could have used my position to destroy their reputations. Instead, I simply allowed the truth to speak for itself. The Admiral's salute said more than any argument ever could. Months later, I continued working quietly on the projects that mattered. Liam continued building his company. Vanessa was forced to rebuild her life without the status she had once believed defined her. And I learned something important. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. Sometimes it's simply standing exactly where you belong, while the people who underestimated you finally realize they were wrong. Vanessa thought I was beneath her because I didn't wear a uniform. Bradley thought I was powerless because I didn't announce my position. They both made the same mistake. They judged the outside. They never bothered to understand what was underneath. So the next time someone tells you to know your place, remember this. You don't have to prove your worth to people who only recognize value after seeing a title. Let your work speak. Let your character speak. And when the truth finally arrives, you won't need to say a word. This is *** Karma Chronicles ***. If you enjoyed this story of hidden strength, family betrayal, and unexpected karma, subscribe and stay with us for more powerful stories where the people who are underestimated finally get the moment they deserve.